Embassy of Guatemala in Taiwan, Central America Trade Office, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Taiwan, and Taiwan Latin Smash for making this event possible. We also want to express our sincere appreciation to each and every one of you in the audience for joining us on this special and like family. And they, in turn, have enriched this place with their creativity and unique perspectives. Our second home is not just an exhibition, it's an invitation to make yourselves at home in the world of art and to explore the boundless possibilities of human connection. So thank you again for coming and enjoy your time here.
Of the Central American Trade Office, CATO, Mr. Lino Chen, Director General of Latin American and Caribbean Affairs of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Mr. Liu Shihong, Director of International Cooperation and Development Fund, Taiwan ICDF, and Mrs. Chang Hui-Chu, Deputy Commissioner of National Chiang Kai-Shek Memorial Hall, friends from the art world and the media, and President Alejandro Giamatti of Guatemala attended the opening of a month-long celebration of Guatemalan coffee culture here in Taipei. The event encouraged Taiwanese people to taste delicious Guatemalan coffee and learn about the rich culture of Guatemala. In October, CATO will lead a delegation of Taiwanese travel agencies to our Central American allies to promote cultural tourism and foster deeper people-to-people connections. Although geographically separated by thousands of miles, Taiwan and Guatemala work closely together in fields including agriculture, disaster prevention, and public health. We are grateful for the strong support Guatemala has kindly given to Taiwan.
Exteriores, Embajador Remus Licuo Chen, excelentísimos señores miembros del cuerpo diplomático, honorables señores representantes de oficinas comerciales y culturales, honorable señor director general de América Latina y el Caribe, embajador Lino Chen, y amigos de MOFA, señora Violeta Zhu, próxima directora ejecutiva de CATO, señora representante for Latin America and the Caribbean, we extend a warm welcome to him and wish him success in his new role. We are sure that he will strengthen the excellent friendship that exists between our people and our government. Today we gather to celebrate art, life, and destiny, all of which lead us to travel the world, build and establish our second home. This special place is what many of us seek, find, and embrace. This exhibition, our second home, brings together a group of multidisciplinary artists from Guatemala, Mexico, Belize, and Paraguay, who have found their second home in Taiwan. The Guatemalans and friends of other countries will deserve the high prize. Artists with us, please, I invite you to please stand to receive a round of applause. As the Vice Minister mentioned, two of the artists' special guests today have traveled all the way through its Ministry of Foreign Affairs and its Central American Trade Office, CATO, for supporting us in promoting friendship and, in this case, the culture and art of important Guatemalan and Latin American artists. Thank you for opening your doors to our people and allowing them to shine in this faraway land. During more than 90 years of friendship, We have built connections that extend beyond diplomacy. We have shared values, principles, knowledge, and experiences that have enriched our life, culture, and nations. This exhibition is a living testament of the depth of our relationship and a tribute to our strong friendship.
Hola, buenas tardes a todos los invitados, amigos, embajador de Guatemala en Taiwán, señor Oscar Padilla Lam, cuerpo diplomático, oficina Cato, autoridades presentes e invitados distinguidos.
Guatemala Ambassador to Taiwan, Oscar Padilla Lam, Diplomatic Corps, members of CATO, authorities, and honored guests.
Quiero leerles un poema del poeta Pablo Neruda, quien era amante de las aves, sobre todo las aves que surcan los cielos y migran.
I want to read a poem from the Chilean poet Pablo Neruda, who was inspired by the birds, as well as my work.
Ave del mar, espuma migratoria, ala del sur, del norte, ala de ola, racimo desplegado por el vuelo, multiplicado corazón hambriento, llegarás, ave grande, a desgranar el collar de los huevos delicados que empolla el viento y nutren las arenas hasta que el nuevo vuelo multiplica otra vez vida, muerte, desarrollo, gritos mojados, caluroso estiércol y otra vez a nacer, a partir lejos del páramo y hacia otro páramo.
This is a non-official translation, but it goes something like this. Bird of the sea, migratory foam, south wing, north wing, wave wing, cluster deployed by flight, multiplied hungry heart. You will arrive, big bird, to shell the delicate eggs necklace that hatches the wind and nourishes the sands, until a new flight multiplies, again life, death, development, wet screams, hot dog, and again to be born, to leave, far from the páramo and towards another páramo.
La obra que presento hoy los invita a meditar respecto al valor que un ser humano tiene de formar un segundo hogar donde quiera que vaya, que el inherente coraje de las aves aleteando sobre las miradas nos haga reflexionar sobre la travesía que miles de personas hacen para encontrar paz, alimento y regalar nuevos frutos a sus hijos, quienes verán crecer en tierras nuevas.
The artwork that I present to you today invites you to meditate on the courage humans have to build a new home wherever they go. May the inherent courage of a bird's flutter above the gaze makes us reflect on thousands of people in search of peace, nourishment, and the possibility of watching their new generations go into new lands.
My first photographic exhibition about Varanasi, India. Some people ask me why India and not Guatemala. At that moment, I realized that I should value my country and everything that has to offer. I begin to discover my country not only through my eyes, but also through my camera lenses. The next year, I begin to promote my country through various photographic projects. One of them was 30 Días por Guate. This project consisted of 30 days traveling around many regions of Guatemala. I knew that Guatemala has many places to visit, so I decided to travel 30 days all over Guatemala. After this trip was done, I decided to make my first photographic exposition about Guatemala. It was a complete success. In 2019, I asked to myself, if Guatemala has so much culture, do I know something about it? How many ethnic groups we have? I begin to count it with my fingers and find just 6 or 7 ethnic names that I know. I begin to search and find out that Guatemala have 25 ethnic groups, 22 of them from the Mayan culture. then the Garífunas, Ladinos, and Xincas. So I begin to contact families of these different ethnic groups that allow me to enter to their homes and document them with pictures and video. That experience allowed me to document 25 families, 25 different ethnic groups, 25 different experiences. This time, I didn't make an expo. Instead, I made my first book named Hacia Nuestras Raíces. That means, in English, Through Our Roots, a very special book that documents our culture.
Of Chen Guohua, so thank you so much, and he has some words for you guys.
Yeah, 很高兴可以来参加这么 international 的 exhibition. So I'm very honored to be here to present Taiwan Latin Smash. Yes, it's our first salsa big band in Taiwan. Yes, and because I'm super nervous, I've never been so nervous like today. Yeah, because we always on the stage, we play music, we tell the joke. So I'm very. Yesterday I write my speech with a Czech GPT. So okay, so I will try to do my best and very quick. So my name is Chen Guohua. Taiwanese is Dang Guohua, and I'm the first generation of the jazz musician from Taiwan. So I have been studying from Belgium, Conservatory of the Brussels. So that's why I have a chance to play jazz and to play salsa. So we have a salsa band, we have a jazz band. And I also to be the honor of the Taiwan 100 years celebration, the music director in Burkina Faso. Yeah, so that was an amazing time. So when I come back to Taiwan,
Hi, it's Michael from Culture Talk and Tours, and I am inside of the exhibition here, Our Second Home, hosted by the Embassy of Guatemala. And here we have an artist from Guatemala. This is Jonathan or Nathan. Nathan Ardon, and this is his painting here. And mucho gusto. I've been seeing a lot of him on Instagram. Alejandra me dijo que vas a venir, and so we're very excited. He's come from Guatemala just for this show. So this is esta es su obra aquí.
Sí, esta y todos los dibujos pequeños de las columnas.
Sí, yo ya tomé video de todo eso. And in the speech that Jonathan gave at the beginning, we were talking about, este is Taiwan? No.
Esta es Taiwan, esta es Guatemala.
Okay, so this one is Guatemala, this is Taiwan, and this is Guatemala.
Sí.
¿Y por qué quieres poner como solo este animal o muchos animales?
Trabajo con las aves como
Okay.
símbolo poético
Okay.
de libertad, de búsqueda de libertad, pero no como un trabajo naturalista ni tampoco como un trabajo ecológico, sino más como un símbolo poético.
Okay.
Y sí trabajo alrededor de las aves, no en realidad de animales, sino solo de aves.
Okay, only birds. And Jonathan read a poem at the podium as well, and you were talking about it's como un círculo de vida o algo así, ¿no? Que los animales crían.
En realidad creo yo que las aves se parecen mucho al ser humano.
Sí.
Tienen una dinámica de buscar un hogar o hacerlo, y también tienen la capacidad de entender las estaciones de los tiempos, y dependiendo de eso se trasladan a otros países o a otras regiones en busca de alimento. Yo creo que el ser humano maneja mucho esa dinámica, que digamos las fronteras nos limitan, los países nos limitan, pero en realidad el ser humano siempre se ha movido, y dependiendo del clima o de de la escasez de alimentos se mueve buscándolo.
Right.
Y yo creo que el ser humano se parece mucho a las aves en eso. Entonces yo busco en las aves que existe una metáfora, un espejo donde el ser humano se ve a través de ellas.
Okay. So it's like a symbol of like humans, so the birds can go to different location, different countries. There's no frontera, there's no border. You don't know what country, and they're adapting to a new place, a new country. Now, ¿por qué esta está de oro y esta es de azul?
En realidad porque como la tinta básica es negra o azul y la urraca es azul.
Okay.
Y en este caso no usé color para mi pájaro, que es el color del ave nacional de mi país, es muy distintivo, es un verde con rojo.
Okay.
Es el quetzal.
Okay.
Pero en este caso quiso usar el oro como una aproximación también a lo que es sagrado. En este caso, mi hogar es sagrado, entonces como yo soy de Guatemala, coloqué el oro como ese símbolo de que para mí tiene una representación más personal.
Sí, y también como antigua, ¿no?
Sí, también la utilización del pan de oro es una técnica muy tradicional.
So we've got the gold here, and we have the Taiwanese blue. It looks like they've got something going on here, and this is the opening. Felicidades, so wonderful to meet you, and yeah, and welcome to Taiwan. Can you do a photo too? Hi, it's Michael and I am back in our second home event, and I'm here with the ambassador to Guatemala. Mucho gusto.
El gusto es mío, Michael.
And it's a fabulous event, wonderful speech. It was so great to hear you. Hablamos sobre Taiwan y Guatemala. I've been to Guatemala una vez a Tikal, y por eso I'm here today because I want to talk to the ambassador about maybe next year I can join this show, porque mi arte tiene mucho sabor de Maya. It has a very Mayan flavor if you know my work. I was able to sneak into the Second Home Mexican show, porque el director, Señor Torres, he said that I'm adopted Mexican, so maybe I can be adopted Guatemalan and I join the next one.
Ya estás invitado.
Sale.
You're already invited.
I'm invited.
You will be part of our second home number 3.
Okay.
And if we do an exhibition in our office,
okay,
we will invite you.
Okay. And I'll come to anything you want.
Yeah. If you have something Mayan, that's Guatemala.
Okay, estamos en contacto.
Claro que sí.
Vamos a ver.
Recuerden, Michael va a hacer una exhibición con la Embajada de Guatemala sobre su arte cuando visitó Guatemala.
You heard it here first. Hi, it's Michael and I'm back with Carlos Lopez Ajardi. He's a Guatemalan artist who came just for this event, and he has been doing these photos. Your speech was fantastic. I loved it.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to Taiwan.
Thank you, Michael.
And I just spoke to the ambassador to Taiwan, and we were talking about all the beautiful places. And can you tell us a little bit about your projects? I did film some of your speech, but you were saying you were talking about the different...
You know that most of the people, including me, we maybe only think about beautiful things outside our country.
Right.
You are from Canada.
Yes.
I'm from Guatemala.
Sí.
I never thought that Guatemala has so many beautiful places, so many cultures, so many gastronomic food.
Right.
And I begin to travel around the world.
Right.
And my first photographic exposure was about India, Varanasi.
Yes.
At this exposure, so much people in Guatemala came to me and say, Carlos, okay, India was amazing, but why?
¿Qué pasó?
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah.
Why not Guatemala? Why India?
Yes.
And that's a valid question. So the next year, I decided to know my country from another face.
Right.
And that was at the beginning of my journey in Guatemala. From this year, 2016, until right now, I've been traveling from to Guatemala, all over Guatemala, and knowing the people, their culture, ethnic groups, food, different places.
And you were saying you thought there were 5 or 6 ethnic groups?
Yeah, because in the school they teach you so little things.
Right.
And when I say I will do some research about ethnic groups, I think we have 6, 7. But when I search on Google, there was 25 ethnic groups.
Right.
I didn't know it.
Right.
Okay. So I begin a project that I call Hacia Nuestras Raíces.
Okay.
Through our roots.
Through our roots.
Yeah.
Right.
You can see a book here.
Yes.
And this book documents the 25 ethnic groups. So I went for about 1 year all over Guatemala, identifying these groups, these ethnic groups, and taking pictures and some videos about the life, the way of living, their dresses, you know, their food, everything.
Right.
So it was a nice experience because right now I'm in love with my country. I'm in love with Guatemala because I think it's so big. It's a country, a small country, but I think the day I die, I will not know Guatemala at 100% because we have a lot of things to know. Too much. And I am in this road to know my Guatemala, my country, but because we have a lot of things to know. Yeah.
And you were saying that many of these groups are from the Mayan culture?
Yeah. 25 ethnic groups. 22 of them are Mayan culture. Okay. 22 different languages.
Wow.
Okay. I don't know these languages because it are indigenous languages.
Right.
Okay. 22 different languages, Mayan languages. Then the other 3 are Latin people like me, that we are a mix or everything. Spain. Indigenous, I don't know my origins, but we call it Latinos. Okay, we have the Chincas.
Yes.
That is not a Mayan culture.
Right.
I think it's more from South America.
Yeah.
And the Garífonas.
Yeah. I just heard about them. They're like Caribe.
Yeah, the Caribe.
African slaves.
Yeah, they came here to Guatemala.
Yeah.
I don't know what year.
Yeah.
I have some information in my book, but I really don't know the roots of these people that came to Guatemala.
Yeah.
But they are an ethnic group.
Yeah.
Okay. But they have a different language also. Yeah. The Garifuna language.
And their food culture.
Their food, everything. Yeah.
Their clothing and appearance.
Yeah. Also, I discovered that we have so much culture, but we need to know that this culture is disappearing.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of ethnic groups that they are lost their language.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
In some ethnic groups, maybe there are 8 to 10 people that still speak.
Yes.
So in a few years, that will disappear.
So we've got to record it.
Yeah.
Well, you've got so much inspiration because it's such a great country. If you do get a chance to go to Guatemala, it's a wonderful place. I've been there myself for a short visit, but I want to see more. I've really enjoyed Carlos' photos. They're fantastic.
Thank you very much.
And it really kind of get you to want to see more of the country. So felicidades.
Muchas
And
gracias.
welcome to Taiwan.
Thank you. Thank you very
Welcome.
much.
Wonderful
Okay.
show.
Thank you very much.
Una para story.
And hopefully I'll be there one day, and it's very honored to be here. Thank you again.
Hi, it's Michael, and I am back with someone that we know from the other Second Home exposition at the Mexican Trade Office. This is Marcos Monroe. Nice to see you again.
See you, Michael.
Now he's got new paintings here. Now I've been following you on Instagram. He's painting on Sunday mornings, very relaxed, good for you. He's dedicated. And this is the one I think I saw, right?
Yeah, this is my latest painting.
Okay.
It's called Sunset. Sunset at Hehuanshan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's inspired by one of my trips that I did to Hehuanshan like maybe 2 years ago for Chinese New Year.
Oh, wow.
I went with some friends and we hiked to see the
sunrise?
The sunset.
Sunset,
Yeah,
okay.
sunset at Hehuanshan.
Okay. And then you've got, I don't know if you can see up close, can you see, is this the stock exchange or?
Yeah, something like, I'm not
Yeah.
sure, I think it's a stock exchange, a Taiwanese stock exchange that
Can you
I
see
got
that?
from the newspaper.
So you cover the canvas in the newspaper, and then this is, what are you using here? Is this
Oil pastels.
oil pastel?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It's this year I started like experimenting with this technique, and I felt like it's really good for landscapes. So I'm enjoying like doing new artwork with oil pastels.
And the clouds are fantastic. And are you doing something to treat it so it's not smudging or
Just a regular
like a spray?
fixative. Yeah, there's a fixative spray. And at the end, when I feel it's done, I just use the spray, and that's it.
It looks fantastic. So this one we saw on Instagram, and then this one have you shown?
No, this is also a new one.
This is new.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is at a beach somewhere?
Yeah, sunrise at Waiao. Have you
Okay.
been to Waiao in Ilan?
No, I haven't.
Well,
Okay.
not too far. It's not too far from here actually.
Okay.
And I really like to go there, and this is also from it's inspired by a trip that I did like 2 years ago. I went with some friends to camp nearby, and we stayed there until the sunrise.
Fantastic.
So we had an amazing view at that day.
Okay, now I don't think I've seen this one.
Yeah, very famous place.
Did you post the picture of this one?
Yeah.
Yeah? The sky is just incredible. I don't know if you can see that in the water. So the oil pastel is really letting you layer. Are you scratching it off or anything?
A little bit of everything, smudging, scratching, whatever it needs to have that effect.
Well, felicidades.
Yes,
It looks so amazing. Can you see that this is newspaper here? It's so crazy. So he's doing it right on the newspaper. It's wonderful. So Marcos is here at this one, Second Home, and then hopefully, well, we're gonna see you hopefully at the Second Home at the Mexican Trade Office next year, because I've been adopted by Mexico, so I'm gonna be there.
Ya eres mexicano.
Yeah, soy mexicano. Well, felicidades, está padrísimo.
Gracias.
It's so cool. Let's go talk to some more artists. Hi, it's Michael, and I'm back with Javier Leon, one of the artists from Guatemala, here at our second home. Javier, nice to meet you.
Thank you, Michael.
I've heard lots about you.
Oh, thank you.
So you are a photographer?
I do. Yes, I am.
Yes. And when we had our show at the Mexican trade office, you were traveling, so you weren't able to join that one. But you're here today, and these are your photos. And where are they from? Where did you take these photos?
All of these photos on this side, they are from Taiwan.
Okay.
Yes.
And Alejandro was telling me that you had some sort of, you were given permission to go to some little island. And
Oh yes, sure. So these 3 photos, they're actually shot in Dongsha Atoll,
Okay.
which is one of the 7 national parks from Taiwan.
Right.
But it's also a military island.
Right.
And it's it's basically close to the public.
Right.
So in order to get there,
Yes.
you either have to be from the military or go on something like on a mission with the Marine Research Center.
Okay.
So for me, it was the second one, of course, and
Okay.
I managed to get a collaboration with
Wonderful.
the cameras that sponsor me for this,
Right.
which is Olympus, Taiwan.
Right.
And they, together with national parks, they managed to get a permit for me
Okay.
to take some photos and update their database for aerial photography and
Right.
for underwater.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Alejandro was saying something, you stayed there like a week or something?
Yes, so can you believe there's actually only one flight? So if you arrive on Wednesday,
Right.
the next time you can leave is next Wednesday.
Okay.
So that's why I had no other choice but to stay there for a week.
Right.
Yeah.
And where is it? It's south of Taiwan?
You wouldn't believe, but the location is right in between Manila, Hong Kong, and Kaohsiung.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you draw a triangle, this thing is in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Yeah,
okay.
right in the middle.
So it has a flight. You took the flight, and then where do you stay? Do they have facilities there?
Yes, they have.
Okay.
I stayed at the Marine Research Center.
Okay.
They have some dorms.
Right.
So it's pretty.
So it's comfortable.
It's comfortable.
So you're not camping on the beach? Or
Not camping on the beach.
No,
I would
okay.
say it's definitely comfortable.
And then you're here, is this a reef shark?
Yes, this is a lemon shark.
Lemon
reef
shark.
yeah. And as you can see, there's a little bit of water. That's
Yeah.
why it gives that effect.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. And it must have been so amazing to be somewhere so not public and, no pollution, no trash or anything. And you're recording what life is there. And that was part of your project?
Yes,
Okay.
that was part of it. And I also did a vlog
Okay.
of my experience there.
Okay.
So I really wanted to just make as much content as possible.
And is that on Instagram?
That's on my YouTube channel.
Okay,
Yes.
so we'll have to get that from Javier, and we'll
Thank
get
you.
that information and put it on there as well. So you did this one, and that was sponsored by the government of Taiwan.
Yes.
And then this last trip you were on was to Iceland.
That was my last trip, but
Okay.
actually the one that is in this exhibition is on this TV.
Okay.
This is from earlier this year in February and January. I went to Kashmir region, the area that is controlled by India.
Right.
So that is Ladakh.
Yes.
And I spent 2 weeks and a half.
Right.
And it's during winter, so
Right.
you can imagine it's pretty cold.
Yeah.
Because it's sandwiched between the Himalayas and the Karakoram range.
Yes. Yes.
So both ways you can't. It's like the only accessible way is by air because
Right.
all the roads are closed
Yes.
because of the snow.
Right. And how did you get invited to that?
That was a personal trip. I
Okay.
wanted to do it by myself.
Okay.
And after that, I was heading to a yoga meditation course for 1 month.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to just justify my stay there.
Doing something. But isn't it a difficult region to get to because of the political turmoil between Pakistan and India? And
It is.
yeah,
It is actually the 3 big powers, and China, Pakistan, and
yeah.
India. They all have frictions,
Yeah.
and especially the area where I went, it's closer to the Chinese border.
right.
So few years ago there was a standoff between like the two militaries.
Yes.
So there's a lot of tension, and if I'm flying my drone, I have to be extremely careful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially with the Chinese.
But actually, the safest side is from India.
Yes.
That is the only one that tourists are allowed.
Yes.
In Pakistan and China, it's not possible.
And if you go anywhere, I always meet Kashmiri people, and they're the nicest people.
Yes.
Even in Malaysia, I've met people. So these ones here are from Taiwan, and then this is from that area in Kashmir. And then what about this one here?
This one here is in Jiangminghu,
Okay.
which is another hike, one of the major big hikes from Taiwan.
Right.
And this one in particular is a bit different because it's not like you go up on a mountain,
Right.
but this one you go along the ridge.
Yes.
And then you find the angel steer, which is like a small pond.
Right.
And this is on the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is that you?
Yes, actually I'm taking the photo with my right hand, so that's why you cannot see the control.
Oh my god. And how do you, so you have the camera set up?
It's a drone.
Oh, it's a drone.
It's a drone.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And then this is also?
And then this was shot in Hehuanshan in Wuling.
Okay.
I tried to do that once a year, like a meditation retreat for myself. I just go by myself.
Right.
This is one of the safest spots because here you get signal.
Yeah.
So if you have an emergency, at least you can call.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're doing some sort of exposure, so you're able to pick up the light and everything?
Yes, it's a long exposure, around 15 seconds.
Wow.
So I need to stand still, and that's the only way you can get
It's
this
incredible.
effect.
I don't know if you can pick up all the stars.
Fixed.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see all the stars there, but it's wonderful. So now that Javier is back from Iceland, we hope to see you more at different events because he is cousins with Alejandra, and if you know her, she's everywhere. Mucho gusto, felicidades.
Muchas gracias.
Son buenísimos. I love
Te agradezco
them.
mucho.
Very
Gracias.
good. And let's go talk to some more artists. Hi, it's Michael, and I am here with, I think, the last artist for me to talk to today. This is Randy Carcamo from Belize. Randy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And we've shown some of Randy's pieces. And what are they, in fact? Is it digital? Is it photo? Is it collage?
It's hard to really pin down what it is because I view it more as an ongoing project.
Okay.
So first it started with a photograph, of course, and
Right.
I run it through Photoshop
Right.
using different layers, different techniques to colorize it,
Right.
kind of obfuscate
Right.
the images so that
Right.
you can't really tell immediately
It's
what
like
it is.
a little bit abstracted.
Yeah, and then of course, what's happening now is you have people drawing on the walls on my artwork.
So they're adding to it.
So it's constantly evolving. And I think for me, my personal, what the artwork is the interactions that are happening in the art space, the connections that are being made,
right,
as opposed to the physical artworks on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the connections being made.
Okay. And have you always worked in this medium, or did you paint? Did you do photography?
In high school, in college, and in my time doing my master's, I did predominantly oil painting,
right,
and fuha meitai.
Okay.
That's mixed media,
yes,
sculpting.
Yes.
Yeah, those were my two areas that I focused on.
Right.
So this was actually something new for me.
Right.
I went back and pulled out a bunch of my old photography that I took around Taiwan.
Right.
Images that are important to me.
Right.
And that's how I ended up with this.
Well, they're wonderful, and just the color palette is so interesting as well. And what brought you to Taiwan? Did you come here to study?
I did. A friend of mine introduced me to the Taiwanese scholarship.
Right.
And he convinced me to apply, and we came together.
Good.
He left after 2 years.
Right.
I've been here 12 years.
Wow.
Now. Yeah.
Wow.
And it has become my second home.
Really? So it is like a second home.
Yeah.
And are you working in the arts, or do you have another job that you're doing during the day?
I'm an English teacher. More like a conversation coach, I guess. I encourage kids to talk
through
games and song right. And different needs.
Right.
But I just graduated this year in
Right.
February.
Right.
And since then, I've been trying to build up my career as an artist.
Okay. And do you have a studio, or are you just working at home?
I'm working from home now.
Okay.
It's my living room.
Okay.
I have a large space.
Okay.
I've also had some oil painting workshops in that space.
Okay.
It can fit up to 8 people.
Okay.
So it's a nice little space I have there.
Because I like to do something on this series where I meet someone and then we go see where they work. So we met some students from Donghai University, and then we got to see their studio at school.
Okay.
So it was really cool to see the finished product, but then behind the scenes. So sometime maybe we'll have to see this living room of his and see where all of this stuff is done. And then are you printing it on a canvas?
I had before this exhibition. I had them. I just used double-sided tape on a black cardboard, but this time, since the cardboard got damaged, and also I can't stick them directly onto the wall,
right?
So I have to change it to a canvas,
right?
And I used a glue called Mod Podge.
Yes, yes, I know. Yeah. Well, they look cool, and then it's also giving you this border. So this was someone else's added to it here?
Yeah, all of this, whatever you see on it.
Okay.
Was,
so you're allowed to add whatever you want.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make sense. Yeah. So you can add something. So Randy has all of this side and across this way as well. You got yourself a nice little location here.
Yeah, it's a nice spot.
And were you in the second home last year?
I wasn't.
No, but you'd like to be in next year as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. If Alejandra needs.
Yeah, you'll be invited. And we've got it on tape that I got invited by the Guatemalan ambassador, so I'll be here with you.
All right.
So I do printmaking. Well, it's wonderful to meet you. Your work is fabulous. I love the colors. I love everything that's like a little kind of touch. And I was talking to the photographer artist from Guatemala, and he was saying about how when you're from a country, like I'm from Canada, and if you came to visit, I would show you Niagara Falls, but to me it's nothing. Whereas you need to start paying attention to the little things. And I think as foreigners here in Taiwan, you're finding things that I notice that maybe Taiwanese wouldn't. Like, I don't know if you've seen Marcos's paintings on the other side. He's painting on the newspaper because the Taiwanese newspaper is so colorful. So it's kind of like we find things here in Taiwan and we are able to see something that I think maybe Taiwanese don't see. So I like your little touches and I like how it's abstract.
And also on that, like the way a foreigner might see an object or a temple is sometimes amongst foreigners we develop our own culture towards an object, which is completely different from how maybe an older Taiwanese person might view this object.
Well, I can tell you something. I find so many things interesting here. Even because I'm a printmaker, so I find even the cardboard boxes that they sell fruit in, they've just silk screened something, so it'll be like a cucumber or a mango, and I love them and I collect them and I don't care who knows. And I'm actually trying to work that into a kind of collage painting now.
Wow.
So. But my Taiwanese friends are like, it's a fruit box.
Yeah.
But at home in Canada, we don't do nice fruit boxes like that. I think everything is like printed or mass produced or anything.
I also have a friend who he's been collecting. I don't know if he actually collects the boxes, big long boxes.
Yes.
You know, the big long boxes.
Yes.
So they usually have like a sexy lady on the cover.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's collecting the physical objects, but he's taking pictures with them.
Yeah.
And he calls them the ladies of the street.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So it's just like
that's wonderful when you put them all together and you like if you have a huge installation.
And you see something that other people don't see. So your work is wonderful. You've got another reporter here waiting to talk to you. So felicidades. You habla español?
I don't.
No, he doesn't speak Spanish.
English, Chinese, and I'm learning Taiwanese.
That's fine. Congratulations. It's wonderful work. Let's go see some more art. Hi, it's Michael, and I think you are the last artist that I need to talk to tonight. This is Mar Zavella,
And you met her at our second home at the Mexican Trade and Culture Office and the second home show that we were in together. Now you've got new pieces, and these are something we haven't seen before.
Yeah, these illustrations, I made them some time ago, but I made an animation now.
Okay.
And I tried to implement augmented reality in them.
Okay.
And let me show you how it works.
So you can see how this is done.
So this application can recognize the picture.
Okay.
And when the application recognizes the picture, you can see the animation.
Oh, wow.
Also this one.
This one as well?
Yes, this one as well.
Oh, wow.
And I try to play with the elements like water, fire, and nature in this case.
So cool. And you've got flowers.
Yes, these are flowers.
Wonderful.
For the moment, I only have these three in augmented reality.
Okay. And now these, you're printing it afterwards?
Yeah, I print them. I made the illustration in Procreate.
Okay.
So these are digital illustrations and digital animations.
Okay.
And I print them.
Okay.
They are completely printed.
Yeah, they're very cool. And something we liked about Mar's show at the Mexican Trade Office was that project you had with the postcards.
Yeah.
Are you doing that here as well?
Yes, I'm doing the same concept. So in this artwork, people can interact with the animation boxes to talk about how people connect to each other, and that is just a brief moment. But also, it talks about my life in Taipei, and there are some significant places and significant moments about this city that I like to share. And I also invite people if they want to share something about Taiwan with someone that they love. So these are the postcards. And
so we can write something and post it in this little postcard?
Yes, I post it here. And on September 22, I will send the postcards to the people that will receive the postcards.
And you posted something on Instagram where she went to the post office with all the postcards from the Mexican, our second home, and you had like Kazakhstan.
Yeah, I was very surprised because there were a lot of different countries. There was in Latin America, there were several Latin America, Nicaragua, Mexico, Guatemala, and also Italy, France, Kazakhstan.
Yes.
There were also postcards sent to Africa.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was very moved because people really, they didn't limit themselves when I said like share with someone that you love. It doesn't matter the distance.
Yes, no, and now that the post office is working again, I just sent a postcard to Switzerland because for the longest time we couldn't send to Europe. It's a great project, and Mar always has great ideas. She's coming up with new things all the time. So great to see you again.
Thank you.
And we're going to see you next week at the Mexican Independence Dinner.
Yes.
So we'll be at that, and I'll be covering that. And I think that is everyone. We saved the best for last. So Michael and Mar at the Our Second Home, sponsored by the Embassy of Guatemala. See you on the next episode.